friends. Today for science, we are going to be talking about fall leaves. We've been talking a lot about different plants, plant parts, and we've been talking about the life cycle of some different plants, the life cycle of a pumpkin, the life cycle of a sunflower we did last time, a life cycle of an apple. And so today we're going to be talking sort of about a part of a life cycle, but also it's a part of a plant, and those are the colorful leaves on the trees. And right now it's fall, it's the season of fall when all of the leaves on the trees, they start to turn different colors. They're red and orange and yellow and brown. And after they turn a color, they're going to start to fall onto the ground, which is why we call it fall. It's also called autumn sometimes. So we're going to be talking about that, and I'm going to go through this PowerPoint presentation to kind of talk about the different colorful fall leaves that we see in the fall. So it says here that during the fall months of September, October, and November, nature delivers a spectacular show of color when the leaves on the many trees change color and fall from the trees. Did you know there are many different types of trees in the United States and around the world? Trees that lose their leaves in the fall are called deciduous. An example of a deciduous tree would be a red maple. Trees that do not lose their leaves or needles are called evergreen trees. An example would be a cypress tree. I have a lot of evergreen trees in my yard, but I also have very many deciduous trees as well. And so I have a lot of leaves that I have to rake up in the fall and in the spring after the snow. And I also have trees that do lose their needles too. So I have pine needles that fall to the ground, and I have to clean those up as well. So right here we have a picture of a kind of tree. It is an aspen tree. Did you know, although aspens like cool summers and cold winters, they don't like shade and they need a lot of sunshine to grow well. This tree right here, this is another deciduous tree called a ginkgo tree. Did you know that ginkgo trees are actually native to China, but they now grow all over the world? So sometimes these trees, they start in one area of the world, and then we replant them in other areas of the world, and now they're all over the place. So this is a ginkgo tree. This tree in this picture is called a bur oak tree. I think this is a really neat looking tree because it has so many different branches and it's kind of low to the ground. It's not a very tall tree, is it? Did you know that bur oaks are one of the most massive oak varieties? They can grow to 140 feet tall, so they do get pretty tall. And they live also up to 300 years. Wow, that's a really old tree, right? This tree must not be that old because I don't think it's quite near 140 feet. And the branches start pretty low on the trunk of the tree, I'm noticing. Interesting. This next tree is called a sugar maple. Oh, did you know a sugar maple is where we get maple syrup from? And this is a really pretty uh, picture of the tree in the fall when it's looking all pretty with the orange and yellow leaves. Did you know that the sugar maple, native to Canada, is a very important tree? It's one of the main providers of high quality sap for Canada's maple syrup industry. So I mentioned that you make maple syrup out of this kind of tree, the sugar maple. When I was in Canada, I've been to Canada a few times, um, you can buy really good maple sugar syrup there. And it is delicious, and it's quite different than the kind that you just buy at the regular grocery store because that's maple flavoring. But real maple sugar syrup is clear. It doesn't have any coloring to it, and it is delicious. This next tree, this is a picture of a bald cypress tree. Oh, I like this picture because it's right near the ocean and it's really pretty. I noticed that this tree doesn't have a whole lot of leaves on it. It has pine needles on it, right? But it's pretty sparse, not a lot right there. It says, did you know that these trees thrive in warm, humid parts of the United States? They can be found all over the southeastern states. And so the southeastern states are states like North Carolina, South Carolina, those areas by the ocean. Okay, so these are warm places and they're humid, which means they get a lot of moisture. So we're probably not going to see a lot of bald cypress trees in our neck of the woods, are we? Oh, here's a really pretty tree. This tree has really bright red leaves in the fall. This is called a sourwood tree. Did you know these trees are native to eastern North America and they can be found in abundance along the lower part of the Appalachian Trail? So these are really pretty trees. We probably don't see a lot of these kind of trees in our neck of the woods either. Here's a picture of a red maple tree, probably named because it turns so red, right? Did you know that this maple is particularly well suited to urban areas as it's not affected by air pollution? Oh, so it can be in cities, in big city areas because pollution does not affect it. So it's a hardy tree. It's a very persevering tree. Um, this picture, it looks like is taken near San Francisco because I can see the bridge there. And this is an urban area. Okay, this tree is called a sweet gum tree. I wonder if you can make gum from it. I'm not sure. Did you know the sweet gum tree has beautiful star-shaped glossy leaves? And here's a close-up of those leaves. And they're kind of star-shaped, aren't they? They're really, really pretty. And I like how they turn that deep orange-red color in the fall. Oh, that's a really pretty tree. I like that. This next tree is called the black tupelo tree. Did you know that a black tupelo tree is important for migrating birds? They provide berries early in the season for birds and other animals who are starting to prepare for winter. Oh, that's good to know. And in the fall, it turns that dark red and a little bit of orange in there. Oh, it's so pretty. That's the end of our slideshow for today, based on, the different kinds of trees. I want you to remember that a tree that loses its leaves and they fall to the ground, those are called deciduous trees. That's what I really want you to remember today, is that those are called deciduous trees. Okay, and if they don't lose their leaves or their needles, then they're called evergreens. Okay, so that's the important takeaway for today. Have fun completing the rest of your activities.